1,000 years ago, scary creatures from the dark black abyss showed up in the world. But around the same time, special stones also appeared, giving people hope. With these stones, humans got powers to help them push back against the strange and scary creatures that had taken over their lands. After leveling up a few times, humans finally pushed the creatures back into the black abyss and took control of their areas again. From then on, China made its main city in the province at the spot with the 9 special stones. Every year, a waking up event happens where the protectors of people are picked from high school students. At the 53rd waking up event in Lintian City of the Stone Branch, the teacher explains that the scary creatures are still moving around inside the black abyss. He tells the students that their powers are needed to fully push the creatures away for good. With a loud yell, he says the stone will randomly give them a job based on their skills. He makes sure they know it does not matter if they get a fighting job or a daily life job, as long as they help the country grow. The students are already excited to take part in the event since they have been learning for the past 18 years. One wants to join a group where they get big pay without doing much real work. Another student tells him that it is not easy to get the fighter job because the chance of getting a fighting job in the school is only 50%. While they are all having fun, they see that our low-ranking main guy, Lin Tianhao, is busy sleeping. It seems Lin is the worst student in the school, and they tease him, saying that getting a good job is the only thing that will change his useless future. Lin is the poorest student in his class, as he is last in the rankings. While they are busy teasing him, Lin is thinking about how he made it to the waking up event and what job he will get. A guy with no hair walks up to Lin, asking him what job he hopes to get. In truth, Lin says that he would like to get an S-level skill for a hidden job. The guy right away tells the others so they can all tease Lin for hoping too much. One of them tells Lin to stop hoping because it will be hard for him to get a daily life job, not to mention a fighting job. It seems if they go by the ratings, Lin is truly low rank. However, Lin believes in a big change as he thinks he might have a turnaround, just like the strong bird that rises from ashes. It turns out that he kind of moved into this world from another, and he believes another big change might happen to help him get a good job. The teacher soon calls Lin and his classmates to come to the stage for the event. A big guy, Wang Dong, walks up to the stage to get his job, and he is sure that he will get a good one. The teacher tells him that it takes no more than 5 seconds to get a job once they touch the stone. She tells Wang that it is normal for him to feel a bit sick during the whole thing. Wang Dong touches the big stone, and it right away gives off bright golden light, which is called the holy light. With this, Wang's waking up works and he gets the fighter job. Wang makes a fist pump for getting a good job, and on top of this, his skill is rated C. The teacher tells Wang Dong that C-level skill is seen as one of the best among normal people. Wang is told to go to the group center where he will find someone to teach him about his job. The girls are already excited with Wang Dong getting such a cool job as they ask him to take them with him when he goes into the dungeon. They all want to be around Wang Dong since he woke up in a fighter role, which gives steady pay. Wang Dong walks back to the students proudly holding his hand up. He bumps shoulders with Lin and uses the chance to say mean things to him. It seems Lin has always been picked on by Wang Dong, and now that he has woken up a fighter job, Lin knows that he is totally in trouble. Wang Dong's friends waste no time blaming Lin for bumping into Wang Dong. They plan to give him a hard time, but Wang Dong tells them to let it go since he is in a good mood. Lin wonders what job he would get since the stone was able to give a mean guy the fighter job. Just as he is wondering what job he is going to get, his rivals are also wondering the same thing. Lin is soon called to the stage while all eyes are on him. Lin reaches the stone and hopes that he wakes up to any job, even if it is a low-rank job. With worry in his mind, Lin touches the stone, and this makes the bright golden light. However, this time around, it is brighter than before. This shocks him and everyone at the event. Lin wonders if his life is finally going to get the good turnaround that he has been hoping for. When the light finally goes away and everything calms down, the teacher checks his job and Lin is let down when he finds out that he woke up as a caller. His rivals right away start laughing because the caller job is seen as the most useless job of all jobs. It seems the caller job is a fighting job, but the training is quite costly, and the result of this is always average. Suddenly, a system shows up in front of him, telling him that he can get access to an SSS level skill if he ties himself to the Black Abyss leader. Lin takes the offer, and this starts the system, which will give him 1 SSS level skill every 10 levels. This basically tells him that he will be open to having 10 SSS level skills at level 100. His skill is pulled out, and he finds out that he has been given the skill Black Abyss offering. This is a skill that lets him change his called things with spirit power straight from the hot bad place. To make it more fun, the change called things can still gain points and level up through fights. However, this gives up his health points upper limit to directly level up a called thing and change it. Lin finds out that with this power, he does not need to fight as long as his called things are strong enough to do the fighting for him. He knows that he can easily raise his health points upper limit through gear in the future. He learns that every 100 health points given up will raise the called thing by 1 level. Since his current health points are 1,000, he plans to give up 900 and save 100 points for himself at least. This basically tells him that he can level up his called things right up to level 9 from the very start. Even though the skill looks strong, strong. Lin believes that he needs to be careful when using it. He is lost in thought when the teacher walks up to him, telling him not to feel down since there are other choices for him, even though his job is useless. Lin thanks the teacher for her kind words, with Lin speaking with the sureness of someone who plans to make a difference in the world. The teacher thinks he has good plans, but the other students just tease him, telling him to go back home and think about his life. Lin walks among the teasers, making the choice that he is going to become a great caller who makes a difference. Lin returns home to his eager sister, who is ready to know what job Lin got. Lin says that he got the caller job, leaving his sister in shock since she also knows that the job is a low-rank job. Lin's sister gives him support and tells him not to think about it since she is going to have her own waking up next year. She believes that she will wake up a magic user job so as to keep her low-rank brother safe. Lin pushes her to the side, telling her that he is a strong caller who does not need anyone to keep him safe. His sister yells at him for picking on her and always treating her like a kid. Just then, Lin gets a message on his phone telling him that the students who got jobs should gather in class. Since he does not know what this is all about, he decides to leave it for later. Shortly after, Lin and the other woke-up people gather in the classroom where they are spoken to by their teacher. He says that 5 people got the fighting job, 8 people got the magic user job, 11 people became helpers, and 1 person became a caller. Wang Dong does not waste time pointing to Lin and calling his calling job a pretty useless one. Dong's friend agrees with him, saying getting such a job basically means the person's life is over. Since Lin's case is special, the teacher has a starting book about callers for him. Lin walks up to the front to get the book, and the teacher tells him that he is free to talk to him anytime if he runs into any problem. While getting the book, Lin sees that the dust on the book is a lot, meaning no one ever reads it because the caller job is low rank. The teacher then tells them that they have been gathered because the school wants to collect specific info on students who have gotten a job. The teacher tells his students to act right because the other classes will be there at the test. Soon, the students move out to the test spot. An overexcited student is the first to step up and show his power as a magic user. His power is quite good, and this gets him 73 points. Wang Dong also shows his fighter powers by cutting the ground, leaving a bright light. His good show of power gets him 89 points. The teachers praise him, making sure he knows that he is going to be first in the class with the score he just got. In no time, Lin is called forward to show his skills. He had learned some basic calling ways from the book he got from the teacher, but he had not tried any of them yet. However, he is ready to give it his all to make sure he does not mess up in front of his classmates and teachers. He opens his calling book and says some words. This right away causes a strong wind to hit the whole area, leaving everyone shocked. They are all curious to see the strong creature that Lin is about to call with his big power. When the smoke clears, everyone, including Lin, is shocked to see that he is called a slime. This starts another round of laughter for the students who cannot believe that after all the show that Lin just did, all he could call was a slime. They start saying mean things to him, telling him that slimes are basically useless against monsters because they are definitely going to get torn apart. Lin himself is let down as he cannot believe that he just called the least expected thing. The slime is at level 1 and the attack power is 9. For skills, the slime eats away and throws, but it has no calling gear. Lin compares the slime's attack power to a light touch because of how low it is. He is still worried about this when the teacher calls everyone's attention to his score. They are all expecting great things, but they are let down yet again as they see 9 points on the board. The teacher tries to lift Lin's spirit by telling him that 9 points are better than nothing. However, Lin asks the teacher if he can try the whole thing again. The teacher does not see anything wrong with this, and he tells Lin to go ahead. Lin then uses his SSS level skill, the Black Abyss Offering. The system tells him that the called creature will be forever changed if he goes ahead to use the Black Abyss Offering on it. Lin accepts the terms and goes on with 200 points. Behind him, Wang Dong is already saying mean things to him, telling him that he is only wasting his time trying the thing again. Lin ignores the mean talkers and gives up 200 health points. Suddenly, a red bad aura comes out and joins with the slime. This makes a shocking change that leaves everyone with their mouths open. Lin's eyes light up in surprise when he sees the look of the changed slime and the stats that come with it. The slime's health has gone up to 1200 from 500. The attack power has jumped from 9 to 120. In addition to its previous 2 skills, it has gotten the bad play stance. To see what the slime can do, Lin gives it an attack order, and it rushes into the distance, leaving a loud boom behind. With the slime's action, the points board starts to read again. Surprisingly, the board moves from 9 points to 120, shocking the teachers and students. They refuse to believe the fact that the least expected person just got 120 points. Wang Dong supporters start losing their cool since Lin has more points than their main guy. Even Wang Dong cannot believe his eyes. Wang Dong right away brings up a worry, reminding everyone that Lin did the test twice, and there is the chance that he messed with the machine. The other students right away join in claiming that Lin cheated the second time. They call the teacher to attention, telling him that Lin first got 9 points, and there is no way it suddenly jumped to 120 points. Lin knows he messed with something, but it was not the machine. He only used his gotten skill on his call, the slime. In no time, the teacher starts to agree with the kids, telling Lin that they are actually right with what they are saying. Lin argues with the teacher, telling him that he did not cheat. The teacher then walks up to the machine, and after a closer look and deep thinking, he turns to the students, telling them that Lin did not cheat. However, he claims that the machine had a problem. Wang hears this and lets out a sigh of relief because he can never believe that low-ranking people like Lin would have better points than him. Wang then asks the teacher what they are supposed to do with Lin's points. The other students are already putting on the pressure, telling the teacher that the point system showed 9. The teacher then tells Lin that he would have to take the test another time since the machine had a problem. Lin is shocked to see that the teacher is actually giving him another chance. The students start to complain against this choice, but the teacher keeps his stand, telling them that it is final. The teacher then tells the students who have not been tested, including Lin, to wait behind while the machine is being fixed. Wang comes up to Lin with a serious and scary look, telling him that he can't get away from being low rank, even if he does the test a million times. Wang then tells his guys that it is time for them to head to the first level of the Dark Abyss. Lin hears this, and it comes to him that the first level of the Dark Abyss is a beginner's lower world area. Since they are all heading to the Dark Abyss, Lin thinks it is going to be a good idea for him to try out his changed slime. Experts show up to check out the machine, and with the level of damage done to the machine, they decide that the school has somehow managed to make another smart person. Suddenly, Lin runs into an old man who praises him for being a caller. Lin is totally confused by the unknown old man and just decides to go along with it. The old man then brings out a short stick and claims that it is a top-level caller staff. He tells Lin that he is willing to sell it to him for 300 gold coins. Lin is shocked to hear this since the only thing he sees is a short stick in front of him. He calls out the old man for trying to trick his smarts. The old man then tells Lin that he is only selling the supposed staff to him because there is a link between them. He claims he would not have thought about it if it were someone else. Lin grabs the stick and finds out that there is power flowing through it, and this shocks him. Since there is no info on callers or where he can buy gear related to calling, he decides to buy the short stick. Lin checks everything he has and it amounts to 92 gold coins. He truly asks the old man if he will be willing to sell the staff to him at a lower price. The old man tells Lin that he is ready to take 92 gold coins from him as a first payment. Lin is confused when he hears this, and the man explains more, telling him that the first payment will stop him from selling the staff to other people. However, he is willing to give him the staff if he is going to go to the deepest part of the first level Dark Abyss maze and bring him a treasure. Lin yells in upset, asking the old man if it is already too late for him to take back his words. To him, he has just gotten a side person's task. Lin learns that he is going to know what he is looking for when he reaches the deepest part of the maze. The old man then grabs him, telling him to put his handprint on the agreement paper. Even Lin is surprised as he does not know why the old man is eager to make him buy the staff. After getting his fingerprint, the old man tells Lin that he is free to leave, but tells him not to forget the agreement. He is saying this with all excitement while Lin is straight up confused. After Lin is gone, Lin's teacher shows up, asking the old man, whom he calls Elder Fang, why he is at the testing center. The teacher tells Fang that he is free to go back as there is nothing special to report since the testing machine broke down. Fang then asks the teacher if he knows Lin. The teacher says yes, that he knows who Lin is since he is in his class. The teacher says that Lin got the collar job, and because of this, he believes that he is going to have a hard future. Fang agrees with the teacher, telling him that Lin's path is going to be a hard one. Soon, Lin arrives at the entrance of the Dark Abyss lower world area. It seems the first level of the Dark Abyss is also known as the Cold Valley Black Abyss, and it usually needs at least 3 to 5 people to enter. The needed entry levels are 1 to 10. Anyone beyond that will be sent away by the Watcher. Since the lowest number of team members is 3, Lin finds out that he actually cannot go in alone. He opens the message on the screen and learns that there are rewards waiting for whoever comes first at the end of the month when it comes to handling the Black Abyss. For the old rankings, he saw Fang Changyun's name there, and he was given a newbie chest plate, which has some really good extras. Because of the rewards promised, Lin decides that he needs to fight his way to the top so he can get the first person spot. Lin's classmates soon see that he is at the entrance. They are shocked to see that a low-rank person like Lin is trying to take on the dungeon. Lin's mood right away drops when he finds out that he has to deal with the mean kids yet again. Wang Dong tells Lin to go home because he has no reason being at the Black Abyss since he is just a caller. Lin angrily tells his teasers that they should mind their own matters. Joe then reminds Lin that he should stop being proud because he needs to make a team to enter the Black Abyss. Wang Dong raises his hand, asking if there is anyone who would like to join his team. In no time, the other students start rushing to him, asking him to pick them as a member of his team. Wang Dong acts like their helper, and he ends up picking 2 guys out of the many who are rushing to join him. Once the team number is up to 5, Wang's team members learn about his goal to compete for first place. Just as they are about to enter the gate shoots out human bones, making fear in the team. The team members find out that they are a step away from becoming monster food. However, Wang is able to make a level of push in his team members as they step into the Black Abyss gate. fight. Lin figures out that Wang and his first two team members will most likely get rid of the two new ones among them. Soon, Lin walks up to a lady, a singer, which is also seen as a weak job. She is Li Shui, and Lin can see that she has been stuck with no team for quite some time. Surprisingly, Lin asks her if she would like to be part of his team. Li Shui is shocked that an S-level skill is coming to her with an offer. Lin smiles, telling her that he has plans of competing for the rankings, but no one would like to team up with him. In her mind, she believes that this is going to be impossible for Lin to do, but at the same time, she does not want to miss the chance to team up with such a nice guy. Because of this, she accepts Lin's offer, and they shake hands on it. Lin tells Li Shui that he will be in charge of taking out the monsters once they enter the dungeon, and all he needs is for her to keep herself safe. Li Shui is completely excited when she hears this, and she makes sure Lin that she will definitely do as told. Lin is glad to hear this since all they need is just one more person. Suddenly, the students' attention moves to the latest arrival of the school favorite, Su Qing. The boys waste no time telling their teams to her. They want her to join them so that they can keep her safe. In her mind, Su Qing is upset as she sees all of them as low-rank piles. Even Lin is surprised that the school beauty is on the scene. Suddenly, Lin sees her walking toward him. In Su Qing's mind, she plans to use Lin for her own gain. Since he is seen as low rank, Su Qing already knows what push it will bring if she teams up with him. Su Qing then acts all nice, asking to join Lin's team. The moment the boys hear this, they lose their cool. Even Lin is shocked as he is forced to ask Su Qing again. Su Qing makes sure that she did not make a mistake, and she even holds hands with him. This makes more hate from the men who start to question why Su Qing would go for a low-rank person like Lin. Lin can feel their hateful looks toward him, but wonders why he is the one getting the blame when Su Qing was the one who came to him. One of the guys goes too far with Su Qing, and with a harsh tone, she tells him to get lost. Without wasting any more time, Su Qing tells her team members that it is time for them to go to the Black Abyss. Before they enter the Black Abyss, Lin asks her why she decided to join the team. Su Qing proudly replies that she is competing for the top ranking, and because of this, she needs a bunch of low-ranking people with her. She is sure that she will be the talk of the town if she is able to lead the two worthless low-rank people to the first position. Lin and Li Shui cannot believe that they have just been called useless and low-rank. It suddenly comes to Lin that he has found himself in a team with two women. Li Shui is shocked that they are already entering the dungeon when they are just 3, and Su Qing says that they have no good person to join them. The 3 then step into the gate to find themselves inside the Cold Valley Black Abyss. The 3 admit that the dungeon is very cold. Even the warm clothes that Lin brought have no effect in the bad weather. Li Shui then says that she knows a low-level cold keep-away boost that might help them. She plays her tool to start the spell, and it lets out a warm feel on her and her team members. Su Qing smiles at this as she praises Li Shui for being useful. Lin then walks ahead, saying that they get a move on since they are aiming to reach the first position. Suddenly, they come across a beast with red eyes, which turns out to be a walking wolf. The beast is rated a normal grade monster with an attack power of 21. Su Qing steps forward, telling her teammates that the wolf is a low-level monster, and she is glad that the monster came at just the right time for her to practice. A blue feel swirls around her body as she changes, getting claws and teeth in the process. Su Qing finishes her change into her beast form, the small cat. She looks scary, and Lin finally gets to see the power of the nature user job in action. Without holding back, Su Qing jumps toward the wolf, ready to tear it apart. Su Qing cuts the wolf many times, lowering its health in the process, and Lin figures out that Su Qing's attacks have a slow hurt effect. Li Shui is impressed by Su Qing's show, and how she nicely took out the wolf without stress. For taking out the wolf, Su Qing gets the wolf skin, which is worth 20 gold coins per set, and wolf fangs, which is worth 10 gold coins per set. Su Qing then tells Li Shui that she will be giving her the items as a thank you gift for the cold keep-away boost she put on them. Li Shui smiles, making sure Su Qing that there is no need for this. With this, the team keeps on their trip through the Black Abyss. Soon, they come across a new set of wolves. Just like before, Su Qing rushes in straight on. She cuts the wolves all at once, taking them down. However, this takes a bit of a hit on her. She knows it is hard to take on a bunch of wolves at once, but at the same time, she does not want to lose the first position. Li Shui right away sees that Su Qing's arm is cut, and she asks her if she is fine because she can help with a low-level health spell. Su Bing rudely tells her that low-level skills will not help that much, and she tells her to save her mana. Su Qing reaches into her storage and pulls out a healing drink that she takes to bring herself back to the best state. The trip keeps on, but suddenly Su Qing steps into a magic circle before seeing it. She gets thrown to the ground by the resulting boom. When the dust clears, they find out that they have managed to cross paths with a scary beast, the bad changed zombie. Even Su Qing is forced to admit that things have gone wrong since they have suddenly come across a scary zombie. Li Shui says that the zombie is a top monster, and it has no reason showing up in the dungeon. Lin says that Su Qing might have taken out too many walking wolves, which got the attention of the zombie. Suddenly, the zombie zombie runs towards Su-ching and hits her with its tool. Su-ching fails to react because of the zombie's big speed, and she gets thrown backwards like she is nothing. Su-ching hits the ground, breaking the ground on impact, but this leaves her totally out of action. The zombie walks toward her, aiming to finish her off while Li Jue screams at Lin, telling him that they need to help Su-ching out. Just as the zombie is about to finish Su-ching off with its big hammer, Lin calls his changed slime. The slime shows up right away, and Lin orders it to use the bad place dance skill. The slime takes the order, and at great speed it runs towards Su-ching, grabbing her away from the zombie's path before it gets the chance to finish her off. The zombie hits the ground with its tool, shocked that there is no sign of the girl in the broken parts. Lin then tells Li Jue to take Su-ching to the nearest fix zone while he takes care of the top zombie. Li Jue says yes to the order, but the zombie wastes no time running at Lin. Lin then orders the slime to use the slime throw skill. Excited, the slime jumps into the air and lets out slime liquid all over the zombie. After this, Lin orders the slime to use the bad place dance. Even with these two skills together, the zombie is barely hurt. Lin finds out that the top zombie has a high keep away to show, which is why they can only deal 50% hurt. Since the zombie is a problem, he decides that looking for another way to deal with it will be the best way forward. Suddenly, Lin finds out that the slime can actually melt the zombie's body. Because of this, Lin orders the slime to go for the zombie's ankles by putting together the bad place dance and the eat away slime. As usual, the slime excitedly takes the order, running toward the zombie's lower body. The zombie does not first figure out what is happening to it until it loses balance and falls to the ground. Meanwhile, Li Jue is busy putting healing magic on Su-ching. Su-ching slightly opens her eyes to see Lin taking on the zombie all by himself. Lin then tells the slime to go after the zombie's legs. The zombie tries to keep itself safe, but the slime's liquid covers it, leaving its health going down fast. In no time, the zombie is fully covered in the slime's eat-away liquid, thus taking it out. The system tells Lin that he has taken out the top bad changed zombie, and by this, he has gained 120 experience points. The zombie also drops some items: the body hammer, wolf skin, and wolf teeth, which are 10 pieces each. Lin also leveled up, and he is surprised that he got so many experience points, which can only be because he took down a strong monster. Li Jue is impressed by what she just saw, leaving her to ask if callers are usually as strong as Lin is. Su-bing is also fully awake, and she tells Li Jue that it is not about Lin's job. Su-ching easily figures out that Lin himself is very strong, even without his job or skills. Lin then walks up to her, asking her how she is feeling. Su-ching tells our main guy that she is feeling better since it is just a small hurt. Li Jue then adds that her spell is helping Su-ching, but they need to take a break. Su-ching says no, reminding the two that they have to compete for the top spot, so they do not have the extra rest. Li Jue tries calling her attention to the fact that she is weak, but she says that she still has the strength to move. She gets on her feet to prove her point. She takes a few steps, but she starts shaking. Lin grabs her, reminding her that she will not be able to get the first position if she ends up out. Su-ging finally sees some sense in what Lin is trying to tell her, and she agrees. They take a break. Lin points out that there is a cave nearby, and he says that they rest there for the night. Once they have set up camp in the cave, Lin tells the two to rest while he checks the area for danger. Before he finishes his words, Li Jue has fallen asleep because she used too much mana, leaving her totally tired. Lin and Su-ching cannot believe that Li Jue just passed out in seconds. Lin then tells Su-ching to also rest while he checks the area for danger. Su-ging's face turns red while thanking Lin for saving her life. Lin looks at her oddly, and Su-ching quickly tells the guy that she is actually a good person who thanks those who help her. Trying to hide how red her face had turned, she turned around to sleep, telling Lin that he should forget about what she said. Lin walks out of the cave smiling. He gets outside the cave and decides to check out his stats since he has reached level 3. Lin grins when he finds out that he has gotten a big increase in his stats. His health has jumped from 800 to 1200. His attack power has also gone up from 12 to 40, and he also got some changes in his other stats. In addition to his better stats, he got the full cover skill, which is the same as a boost buff. Since he was given 400 health from his last leveling up, Lin decides to level up the slime to level 4. He has 1200 health points open to him, and he gives up 400 points. The slime grins as it gets stronger. Its attack power goes up from 1200 to 1400. The slime also got a new skill: the slime split. This new skill gets Lin curious, and he decides to put it on and try it out. Once the skill is on, he orders the slime to start, and just then the slime splits into two. Lin finds out that the slime's health has been equally split, and the same goes for the keep away, but its quickness actually went up. Lin is quite impressed, but he has no idea how long the skill will stay on. Just then, the timer shows up in front of him, showing that the skill's wait time is 3 minutes. Lin almost loses his cool when he finds out that he has just a short 3 minutes to use the skill. He wonders what the slime can do in just 3 minutes, but suddenly he hears a loud noise coming from inside the cave. He right away figures out that his friends are in danger. He rushes into the cave to see them screaming and telling a monster to stay away from them. Without waiting, Lin orders the slime to go after the scary monster. The slime shoots out its throw at the monster, but this only takes away 25 health points. Lin is shocked that his slime's attack can do just a little hurt against the monster, which turns out to be a giant snow rabbit. It is a level 8 monster with 800 health points to show. It also has 80 attack power points, which makes it pretty dangerous. According to the info shown by the system on the rabbit, Lin finds out that they are beasts that live in ice and snow all year. In addition to this, they have thick fur that keeps away basic attacks. The girls right away think that they have reached the end since the power gap between them is huge. The rabbit makes a loud sound in anger as it runs toward Lin. Su-Ching worries for him, screaming at him to watch out. Lin does not seem to be scared, as it orders the slime to shoot liquids at the rabbit. However, this gives little or no worry to the rabbit as it pushes the slime away like a low-rank can. The rabbit's speed gives it the edge to dodge the slime attacks, and it finally starts to come to Lin that there might be a bit of a problem. He screams at the changed slime, telling it to pull back and use the bad play stance and eat away slime skills. The slime says yes to the order, but the rabbit's quickness is way too high. It is able to move past all the traps that Lin is trying to set for it. Fear takes the team as Li Shui questions why the rabbit is moving so fast. Su-Ching says that the rabbit is the most dangerous monster in the Cold Valley Abyss, and because of this, it has taken out a bunch of fighters. However, Su-Ching is confused as to why the monster is going after them when they did not go near his area. As if things are not bad enough yet, Lin finds out that the bad play stance is on wait time. He right away orders the slime to pull back to his spot. However, the rabbit catches the slime and pushes it into the ground. Li Shui sees this and moves in to help, while Su-Ching screams at her to calm down. Li Shui picks up a rock and throws it at the rabbit's head. This finally changes the rabbit's attention from the slime to Li Shui. Li Shui gasps in fear when she finds out that she might be in big trouble. She screams in fear as the scary rabbit walks toward her. Li Shui reaches into her bag and grabs the first item her hand can grab. The item turns out to be a carrot, and she throws it at the rabbit. Surprisingly, the rabbit forgets about its scary side as it starts to eat the carrot, just like normal rabbits. This is when it comes to Lin that the rabbit is only hungry. On the other hand, Su-Ching is forced to question Li Shui's reason for carrying around carrots. Li Shu says that she brought the carrots with her since they are needed to bring food items for the task. After eating the first carrot, the rabbit turns around to look at the team in a mean way. This sends a cold feel down their spine, and Li Shui quickly throws the rabbit a bunch of carrots to keep it away from pushing them into pieces. While the rabbit is busy eating the carrots, Lin figures out that they are almost out of carrots, and they need to find a way to take out the rabbit before then. Lin then orders Li Shui to throw her bag to Su-Ching. Su-Ching is shocked when she hears this, but Li Shui does not even waste time before throwing the bag to her. The moment the bag gets into her hand, the rabbit turns its attention toward her. Su-Bing screams at Lin, asking him if he has a plan for the rabbit. Su-Bing right away changes into her beast form and runs away from the rabbit. Lin makes sure Su-Ching has a plan, which he will use to take out the rabbit. The rabbit gets mad for failing to catch Su-Ching after a few tries, making it make a loud sound in anger. After running around for a moment, Su-Ching asks Lin what his plan is. Lin then points to the hardest part in the cave, telling Su-Ching to lead the rabbit straight there. Right away, Lin says this. Su-Ching figures out what he is trying to do. She heads straight for the set spot while the rabbit chases after her. In a normal beast way, Su-Ching runs on fours while holding the carrot bag in her mouth. She makes sure to get very close to the wall before changing direction, making the rabbit head straight into the wall. The hit of hitting the wall takes a hit on the rabbit, and Lin orders the slime to do its thing. The slime then shows up above the rabbit, letting out its eat-away liquid on the rabbit. Lin grins like a bad guy when he finds out that he finally has the rabbit where he wants it. He then orders the slime to use the split skill and the slime throw skill to go after the annoying rabbit. Fear takes the rabbit as it finds out what is coming for it. The slime rains its earthed liquid down on the trapped rabbit, finally lowering its health and taking it out. This gives Lin 200 experience points and 100 experience points to reach the next level. Lin figures out that the slime will have hard times against a strong enemy, but he somehow has a way to get around a similar situation. Li Shui lets out a big breath of relief that they have taken out the slime since she thought she was going to end up out. On the other hand, Su-Ching is still upset that Lin used her as bait to take down the rabbit. Lin scratches his head in a nervous way, telling Su-Ching that she was the only one who was fast enough to move past the rabbit. Su-Ching agrees with what Lin is saying, but she turns her anger to Li Shui, blaming her for bringing carrots into the Black Abyss, which led to the rabbit chasing them down. Li Shui tries to explain her actions, saying she was trying to give the team with dry food. However, Su-Ching yells at her to take out the carrots. Li Shui is about to throw away the carrots, but Lin stops her. He points out the clear fact that the rabbits have given them more experience points than all the monsters that they have come across so far. He lets the team know that it will be much easier for them to level up if they can draw more snow rabbits into the cave and wipe them out. Since the need for clearing the Cold Valley Abyss is to take out the level 10 boss, he says that they get to the 4th level or above. Lin is currently at level 3 while the girls are at level 2 each. Li Shui understands the need to level, but she reminds Lin that they had a hard time dealing with just one rabbit. Lin puts on a bad smile, telling the girls that the last time they were the ones being chased, but this time around they are going to be the chasers. Subing is also okay with Lin since she is aiming for the top spot, and she can't be going around looking for monsters when the monsters can come to them. She decides that it is time they start planning out their move. The team then places a carrot on the ground while hiding behind a rock. This soon draws a rabbit to the spot, but while the rabbit is busy eating, Lin and his teammates start a surprise attack. The three keep this up, and 3 hours later, Lin has reached level 5 while the girls make it to level 4 each. The girls are glad that they have been in the Black Abyss for just 5 hours, but they have leveled up really well. The first place record time was Fang, who cleared the Black Abyss in 8 hours. Li Shui then brings up the idea that they can actually break the record. Subing is not sure since the Black Abyss boss is quite dangerous and will not just sit around while they send it away. Lin remembers that the guide told them that the Black Abyss boss is a zombie leader who commands wolves and the undead to attack its enemies. Lin does not think the boss will be hard to take out, but it will come down to a test of staying power in the end. Lin judges that they should be able to take down the boss in 2 hours or less with their current level and power. Licia then asks them what the plan is. Suging says that they rest and Lin agrees to this, saying they should take a 30-minute break. Lin then levels up his slime, but he is not really happy with the fact that he has to lower his health to level up the slime. He figures out that he has to find another way to level up the slime when he gets back outside. Lin sees that he did not get new skills and his stats did not go up as much. Lin can only hope that the boss fight is not long. Suddenly, they hear a loud noise outside the cave getting their attention. They rush outside to see a unicorn standing in the distance. The unicorn turns out to be a hidden boss, which is also level 10. However, it seems to be dangerous as it shows off 120 attack power points. For its skills, it has the Running Thorn, the Soul Cleaning Song, the Stomping Run, and the Dropping Star. It seems the unicorn is a good and pure creature that uses the Black Abyss as its resting spot. The unicorn's job is to keep the creatures in the Black Abyss from being bothered. And whenever it feels like the balance of life is being messed with, it shows up to take care of the problem. Sweat runs down Lin's face when he finds out that they are going up against an actual unicorn. Lin thinks of himself as a lucky person to have run into the hidden boss, but at the same time, he figures out that he needs to be careful since the stats are much stronger than the original boss zombie leader. The slime looks at the unicorn with so much worry while waiting to go after it. Just then, the unicorn uses one of its skills to put Lin and his teammates in a trance. This affects Lin's mind state, and he starts saying good things about the unicorn's nice look while walking forward without aim. It turns out that the unicorn is leading Lin and his teammates down into a hole to fall and end up out. The slime moves into action and sinks its hold into Lin's leg to pull him back to real life. Lin opens his eyes wondering why the slime held him until he sees where he is heading. Lin turns around to see the girls almost at the edge of the drop. Just as they are about to step off the drop, Lin rushes over to grab them. He pulls them back, helping them to get their senses back. The three then hide behind a rock to check their situation. The girls wonder why they are being gone after by a unicorn when the Black Abyss boss is supposed to be a zombie leader. Lin says that the unicorn's job is to keep the creatures in the Black Abyss, and because they have wiped out a few rabbits, it has seen them as dangerous. Li Shui finds out that the unicorn did not come after them when they were taking out the bad changed wolves and the zombies because they are no longer living things. Unlike the rabbits, Suqing says that they were supposed to follow the dungeon guide and take out monsters on their way to finally reach the dungeon boss. Suqing never thought they would run into a hidden boss, which is more dangerous than the dungeon's original boss. Suging comes to the sad truth that they are probably going to end up out at the hands of the unicorn. Li Shui starts crying, saying that they run away because she does not want to end up out. Lin lets the girls know that there is no way out for them because the unicorn already has its eyes on them for taking out the snow rabbits. Li Shui blames herself for bringing carrots on the task when they could have just taken out zombies to finally reach the final boss. However, they are about to end up out because of a mistake that she made. Lin then pats her on the shoulder, telling her to stop saying low-rank things because they were able to level up thanks to the unplanned choice that she made. He tells Li Shui that they finally have a chance to clear the dungeon, as long as they are able to take down the unicorn. Lin gets on his feet to act cool, while telling the girls that he will keep them safe against the final boss. Suqing is not ready to let Lin take her spotlight, and she gets up to show some level of sureness, telling Lin that she is not afraid of a simple unicorn. She even acts in charge, telling Lin and Li Shui not to hold her back when going after the boss. Li Shui is happy to see the level of sureness coming out of them, and she thanks them for their help. Just then, the unicorn sends its attack toward where they are busy talking about their plan. The unicorn starts the Running Thorn skill. It moves toward them, and Lin yells at his teammates to spread out. The unicorn starts running toward them in anger while using the Soul Cleaning Song skill. This sends a wave of hurt into their heads, but Li Shui is not affected. She right away starts to put a counterspell to clean and keep away the unicorn's spell. By playing her tool, she helps her teammates break down the unicorn's mind attack. The unicorn taps into another skill, the Stomping Run. It runs toward the only person who is a threat to its mind attacks, Li Shui. It aims to stick her with its horn, but Suqing jumps in at the right time, pushing its horn away from Li Shui's path. She then gives a kick to the unicorn's head to send it away from Li Shui. This starts the unicorn's anger, making it change its attention to Suqing. Suqing gives it a head start, but the unicorn is able to close the gap in no time. Suging's smile soon goes away when she finds out how dangerous the unicorn is. Lin can see the path of the unicorn's horn and knows Suqing is in danger. Suging fails to dodge the unicorn's horn and she finally gets stuck. She falls to the ground while Li Shui runs to her to help. The unicorn goes into the air to proudly look down on what it has done. Lin is upset, and he calls his slime, telling the creature that it is time they move into action. The changed slime is now at level 9, with an attack power of 160 points. The slime jumps toward the unicorn, letting out its eat-away liquid to hurt the unicorn. This causes the unicorn a new level of hurt that makes it lose its balance. Li Shu and Suqing cannot believe that the slime is actually holding down the unicorn. Lin says that he knows the unicorn would be afraid of the changed slime's dark traits, but he never knew it would be up to the level that he is currently seeing. Lin is impressed, and he orders the slime to keep attacking the unicorn. Soon, the unicorn can no longer take the hurt and tries to run away, but Lin orders the slime to use the eat-away slime skill and bad place dance. Happily, the slime jumps toward the unicorn. It catches up to the unicorn and gives it a side look before hurting it again. The unicorn screams in so much pain that it falls to the ground. Lin is impressed by the slime's help and he praises it. Once the unicorn is stuck on the ground, it starts the cleaning song as a last try. Lin orders the team to cover their ears to avoid being affected. The unicorn then heads directly for the slime, and when Lin sees this, he orders the slime to split. Just at the point of hit, the slime separates, making the unicorn's try totally useless. The unicorn now has 2 slimes to go after, and it starts its stomping run skill. It tries stomping on the slimes, and Lin figures out that he needs to take out the unicorn before he loses the full cover skill that lets him keep the slime safe. Lin then orders the slime to use the eat-away slime skill, and the slime right away jumps up behind the unicorn. The unicorn steps into a pool of eat-away slime before being jumped from behind. The slime fully rests on the unicorn's body, sending a wave of pain through it that makes it scream. Finding out that it is about to lose its life, the unicorn is forced to enter a wild state. Lin figures out that the unicorn is going crazy and tells the slime to pull back. The unicorn gets on its feet, but instead of attacking, it stands there watching Lin. Suddenly, Lin sees that the unicorn's flow is showing some special traits. He is in the middle of this when Suqing rushes toward the unicorn, asking Lin why he has not given the final hit to finish off the unicorn. Li Shui also joins to help, but Lin yells at them to stop. Suqing ignores Lin's request and hits the unicorn so hard that it is sent falling to the ground. Just then, Suqing finds out that the unicorn is actually crying. This shocks her, and in its last moments, the unicorn lets out a loud scream. Lin and his teammates cover their ears, and Lin orders the slime to take in the unicorn's power. The slime does this, and Lin smiles, believing that it is all over. Suddenly, the entire area starts coming down, and Lin tells his teammates to pull back to where he is. They run over to him, and the slime gives cover for them using its body. The girls wonder why the area is suddenly coming down, and Lin points out that the dungeon's keeper is out. Because of this, the magic holding the dungeon has started losing its effect. Just then, Lin orders the slime to keep the unicorn's body safe. The slime takes the order, covering the unicorn with its entire body to keep it safe. Soon, the mountain stops falling. Lin then says that they check out the unicorn's body. Suqing is confused as she has no idea what is happening. Lin then says that the unicorn's flow has healing traits, and because it came in contact with the ground, it started healing. Suging wastes no time saying that they finish off the unicorn so that they can leave the dungeon, but Lin stops her, telling her that they can't take it out yet. Suqing wonders why Lin is stopping her from taking out the unicorn. Li Shu sees that something is wrong with the unicorn, shocking Suqing that she is taking Lin's side. Lin wonders what the unicorn is trying to give to them, and it suddenly lets off a huge scream. This gets Suqing's attention to ending the unicorn, but Lin still stops her. Suqing scolds Lin, telling him not to stop her again. Lin then sees that there is a bump in the unicorn's tummy. Suddenly, a horn bursts through the unicorn's belly. Soon, a baby unicorn shows up from inside the unicorn. Suqing thinks that the boss unicorn has the power to come back itself. As usual, she gets ready to end the unicorn before anything else. She goes at the unicorn, but Lin jumps to keep the unicorn safe and stop Suqing from acting too fast. Suqing ends up cutting Lin on the face and the flow spills on the baby unicorn's horn. Suqing is still yelling at Lin for acting so fast when Lin gets the message that he has made a deal with the baby unicorn. Everyone is shocked to see a bright green light behind them. The baby unicorn changes into pure light and goes into Lin's mind. Lin checks the unicorn's stats and it is still pretty low, which makes sense for a baby unicorn. Lin is glad that his guess about the unicorn trying to keep its baby safe was right. Lin is happy that he now has 2 calls. Suddenly, the surroundings start to shake again, making the ground crack. Suzing and Li Xue make a run for it, but they turn around to see Lin standing above the mother unicorn. Lin bows beside the unicorn, making sure that he is going to take care of its baby. The message comes in that Lin has taken out the unicorn, and he is given a bunch of items too. In addition to this, he broke the record for clearing the dungeon. The ground keeps shaking and gets worse than before. Suging and Li Xue yell at him to get a move on, but before he can move, the ground under him falls in and he falls in. His teammates are scared, but while falling to his end, the system asks him if he is ready to leave the dungeon, and he quickly taps the yes choice. A pixel light shows up on Lin and his teammates' bodies, and in no time they find themselves outside the dungeon. Subin right away walks over to him, grabbing him by the shirt, while Lin tells to calm down. Meanwhile, the other fighters have gotten the message that the rankings will be changing since there is a new record breaker in town. This leaves them wondering because the leaderboard has not changed in years. Some say that it might be Lin, but they quickly throw away the thought, saying there is no way a low rank like Lin will break Fang's record. Just then, the gate starts to glow, showing that someone is stepping out. Someone asks Lin and his teammates if they were the ones who broke the record, but his friend scolds him, telling him that Lin is a nobody. He says Lin and his friends must have been forced to leave the dungeon. Subing is upset when she hears this and she tries going off at the guys, but Lin and Li Xue hold her back since they are already used to being made fun of by people. Wang Dong and his team finally step out of the dungeon. He looks at Lin in the usual way he looks at him. He makes it clear that he was not expecting low rank like him to actually make it out of the dungeon alive. Wang then sees that Su Qing is with Lin, and he wonders why a beauty star is with a piece of low rank like Lin. Wang's friend backs him, but Su Qing just tells them to get lost while adding a bit of mean words to it. This gets the dude upset, but Wang tells him to back off. Wang then asks Lin if he can now see the gap between them, but Lin laughs, asking him what low-rank gap he is talking about. Wang lets his feelings get the better of him as usual, and he grabs Lin by the shirt, yelling at him until he hears the people behind him talking about the leaderboard getting an update. They are all shocked when they hear that Lin Tianhao has taken the first position on the board. Wang calmly leaves the dude in shame while trying to take in what he just heard. The side people start pointing to Lin, talking about how great he is to have pushed Fang Changyun off the leaderboard after 3 years. Wang's friends, on the other hand, refuse to believe what is right before their eyes. They start their usual guess that Lin must have cheated just like he did during the school test. However, the other fighters there do not think Lin cheated, since there should be no way someone could cheat in the dungeon. Just then, they hear a voice behind them talking about how simple they are for thinking someone cheated in the dungeon. The feel from the voice makes them turn around, and they are shocked to see the two cool siblings, Murong Yu and his sister Murong Shui, walking toward them while being with their NPC teammates. The crowd right away turns its attention toward the cool siblings whom it rarely sees outside. Even Lin is shocked to see them, since they are both great fighters who have titles that are very hard to get. Murong Yu is a level 9 swordsman with an A-rank skill level. Murong Shui, on the other hand, is a level 8 hidden attacker who has an A-rank skill level too. Lin wonders why the siblings suddenly showed up at the place since they are of a high status class, and they usually enter the Black Abyss via special moving gates. However, there are also high status guys who choose to make teams with regular guys to enter the Black Abyss. Since they already have a team, Lin is further confused at what they are doing at the low-level place. As expected, Wang walks up to Murong Shui to offer himself to her, but she just ignores him as if he were nothing. Wang's friend gets upset over this again, yelling at Murong Shui and asking to know why she just ignored his friend as if he were a nobody. Murong Shui adds on the mean words, telling them that she is let down that such a low-ranking person managed to wake up as a member of the Holy Fighters. This further starts the dude, but Wang stops him from doing anything too fast. Wang then tells the siblings that Lin is just a guy who cheated in the dungeon. Wang turns to Lin, telling him that he is lucky, but there will not be a next time for him. Wang and his group of low-ranking officers are forced to leave the scene, and Su Qing lets out a breath of relief that the troublemakers are finally gone. Murong Yu then finally gets the chance to talk to Lin, asking him if he is the guy who just changed the ranking of the Black Abyss. Murong Yu takes off his glove to shake hands with Lin while telling his name to him. Lin is truly shocked to see that Murong Yu was looking for him out of all people. This leaves him stunned until Murong Shui yells at him, asking him if he is blind to the fact that her brother is trying to shake him. Murong Yu just tells his fired-up sister to calm down, and Lin finally snaps out of it, kinda nervously saying hi back to Murong Yu. Lin's about to shake his hand when Su Qing grabs him and stops him. Suging turns to the siblings and says Lin's already on her team. Murong Yu gets annoyed when he hears that, and with a grossed-out look on his face, he tells Su Qing to step aside while he talks to Lin. Su Qing ignores what he said, because she's not about to let anyone take Lin from her. She tries pulling Lin away, but Murong Shui blocks them, straight up telling Su Qing that they want Lin on their team too. The other fighters are shocked when they see the Murong family trying hard to get a caller in their group. One of the NPCs says Lin isn't a regular caller since he's the first one to break the Black Abyss record. It finally clicks for the others why the Murong family wants him, because it'll help them climb the ranks super easy. Su Qing sticks to her guns, telling the siblings she's not giving Lin up. Su Qing knows her record will disappear if she does. One of Murong's team members steps in, telling Su Qing to back off while they take Lin. The NPCs think Su Qing's actions are reckless because it'd be dumb to go against the the Morong family. Li Shui quietly asks Lin if he plans to team up with the Morong family, but Suqing says there's no way on earth Lin will even think about it. Murong Yu then reminds Suqing that she can't decide for Lin. He says they should ask Lin what he wants instead. Murong Yu then puts out his offer, calling himself the Knight of the Golden Divine Lion, while telling Lin to join his team. Lin gets an option on the screen to join Murong Yu's team, but Suqing is sure Lin won't go for it. Just then, Lin shocks everyone when he says he's open to joining them. Suqing and Li Shui almost freak out when they hear this. Suqing has to turn to Lin, asking him why he's picking to join Murong Yu and his team. Murong Yu, on the other hand, is happy that Lin's making the smart choice. Murong Yu claps for Lin, telling him to accept the invite on his screen. Murong Yu smiles at Lin, saying they'll get to break records together if he takes the invite. In another twist, Lin turns down the offer, shocking everyone as they wonder what's going on in his head. Murong Shui gets upset, but Murong Yu stops her from flipping out. Lin lets Murong Yu know that he's actually down to join, but they'll have to agree to some things he wants. Murong Shui looks at Lin in a super grossed out way, telling him they're already doing him a solid by asking him to join their fancy team. She reminds him not to be an ungrateful guy since he's just a low-rank caller. Lin sees they're trying to act all big and important, and he turns around to walk off. Murong Yu has to ask him what terms he's talking about. Lin smiles, saying they're nothing big. The first thing he wants is that whenever they go into the Black Abyss, they always follow his orders. The second one is that no one can take experience from him whenever they want. The third thing is that all the stuff from the monsters goes to him. Murong Shui is shocked to hear this. The NPCs are also in disbelief because Lin just asked for some really tough stuff. The NPCs don't see the Murong family following a caller's orders, but at the same time, they need Lin's help to climb the rankings. Lin stands there proud, telling Murong Yu that he'll happily join if he can go with the things he just said. Murong Yu's team members start yelling at their captain not to take the crazy offer because Lin clearly isn't taking them seriously. Suqing laughs at them, telling them they're free to get to the top of the ranking list if they can't go with the conditions from Lin. The side folks can't believe that Lin just poked fun at the Morong family right in front of everyone. Another person points out that Lin broke the record, which means he's a big deal right now, and even the mayor will have to show him some respect. Murong Yu's teammates want to rough Lin up, but their boss stops them, reminding them why they came. Murong Yu then asks Lin why he's messing with them when he knows he doesn't plan to join the team. Lin then says he hates when strong people try to use their power to grab folks. As expected, this bugs Murong Shui, but her brother is there to stop her from going off. Murong Yu then tells Lin that he shouldn't think too much of himself because he's #1 in the Cold Valley Black Abyss ranking, because that can go away quickly if he's not careful. Murong Yu says this with a lot of bad feelings toward Lin, and since Lin isn't taking their offer, he thinks it's time they head out. Suqing laughs at them, telling them to leave in shame. However, Murong Shui is super upset that they got embarrassed, and she promises to give Lin a hard time later. Lin stretches like he doesn't care, and he tells his teammates that they need to go into the Black Abyss again so they can hit level 10. Lin suddenly feels something bad toward him. He turns around to see the girls' scary faces looking down on him, telling him how lucky he is that he didn't join Morong's team. Lin can tell what's coming, and he tells the girls to listen to what he has to say first. However, they ignore his request and give him a good whopping reward for making them worry. After they're done messing him up, Suqing says they restock and meet up later. Since he has an hour left before they go into the Black Abyss again, Lin decides to head into the woods. Because he was able to take down the unicorn, he got a ton of experience, which pushed him to level 6. Since he doesn't know the skills of the unicorn he got, he decides to call it. He starts the calling gate, and this lets out a bright white-blue light. But when everything clears, nothing shows up. Lin is scared when he can't find his call. The system then tells him that the calling didn't work, telling him to check the call status. He wonders what's going on, and the system asks him if he's ready to hatch his call because it's not hatched yet. Lin hits the yes button, and the system lets him know that he'll have to wait 3 days for the unicorn to be ready. This shocks Lin, but he knows he has no choice but to wait. He then decides to check the stuff he got too. He's told to open the finish chest where he'll randomly get gear. He opens the chest and gets mail. The mail turns out to be the history record gift pack. He opens it and finds a congratulatory message along with a title, The Fastest Man. Lin is confused by the title of The Fastest Man, but since he's not ready to think hard about it, he just forgets it and decides to check the gift pack. He's told to open it so he can get a random high-level Black Abyss gear, material, or potion. Without waiting, he opens it. 2 packs show up in front of him, and he decides to check what's inside the finish chest first. Inside the finish chest, he finds a keeper armor, which works for all jobs. This gives a boost in stats, and it also gives 50 experience points when used. Lin is happy with what the armor gives, and he decides to check what's inside the box. He opens it to find a silver grade necklace, shocking him. The necklace is called the Ice Necklace, and it gives a bunch of boosts for the user. Lin can't believe he got a silver grade gear right away. It seems gear is ranked into 9 levels. There's the no grade, bronze grade, silver grade, gold grade, platinum grade, diamond grade, radiant grade, legendary grade, and divine grade. Lin smiles at at the stuff, and he figures he has heaven on his side. Excited, Lin right away puts on the armor. This joins with his body, and Lin sees that having gear makes a big difference. His status panel has also gotten longer from getting several stat points. However, he only has 2 skill points. He decides to use one of his skill points without thinking twice. He upgrades his full cover skill from level 1 straight to level 3. This is the skill that lets him keep his so-called beast safe, and with the upgrade, it uses less spirit power. Lin is glad he can do this as it'll save him time clearing the dungeons. Lin then decides to level up the slime. He gets the offer that he can push his slime 6 levels ahead. Lin is shocked to see this, and he right away gets curious about it since there's no description. Still, he takes the offer, and this cuts his health points in half. The giving up works, and the slime starts to change. This lets out a huge energy blast that makes Lin cover his eyes. Lin is left shocked when the process is done, and he sees a human-like slime in front of him. Meanwhile, Subing has gotten to the entrance of the Black Abyss since it's time for them to go in again, but Lin is nowhere. She wonders where the guy is, and Li Jue tells her that she can check his spot on the team panel. Subing then opens the panel, and she's surprised to see that he's in the woods. She wonders what the guy is doing in the woods, and she says they go find him. In the woods, Lin is still trying to keep his shock low as he looks at the human-like slime in front of him with round and full parts on her chest. Lin wonders why the slime isn't wearing any clothes, but before he knows it, the slime jumps into his arms. She knocks him to the ground in excitement, while rubbing all of her soft parts on Lin. Lin's face turns red, but he gets himself under control. He grabs the slime, telling her that she can't get a reaction from him no matter how much she tries. Lin goes into his storage and pulls out a dress for the slime to wear. The slime takes it and soaks it up instead of putting it on. This is when Lin sees that he's dealing with a baby slime. Lin can't believe he's somehow become a dad to one of his calls. He finally sees that the slime can use pro gear because it's now in a human form. Lin then decides it's time he checks the status of the advanced slime. The slime has gotten a huge boost in stats as her health points have jumped from 1600 to 2700. Her attack power has also gone up to 205, while she has 2 new skills, the Acid Rain and the Bad Place Hug. The Acid Rain is an Area 1, and the Bad Place Hug is a single target attack skill. The Acid Rain lets the slime throw a part of her body to make clouds, letting out highly eat away acid rain on a targeted spot to cause ongoing hurt. And for the Bad Place Hug, the target will get ongoing hurt once the slime grabs them. Lin is impressed by the skills as he can't wait to try them out. On the other hand, Su Qing and Li Wei are still tracking him down, while wondering what he's doing so deep in the forest. They finally find him, and Su Qing sees Lin hugging a girl from what she sees. She right away yells at Lin, asking him what he's doing. Lin is shocked to see the two, asking them why they're in the woods. Su Qing can't believe Lin is asking such a dumb question, which basically means he's saying they're crashing his sweet time. Lin sees that Su Qing has gotten everything wrong again. He already knows what's coming as he gets roughed up by the angry Su Qing, who calls him a creep. After he's done getting messed up, Su Qing finally learns that the girl is the advanced slime. Instead of owning up to what she did, she still blames Lin for not explaining faster, but Lin reminds her that she didn't give him a chance. Lin then puts away the slime before asking the girls why they're in the woods. Su Qing then points out that their meetup time is up, and they obviously can't go into the Black Abyss without him. This is when it hits Lin that he's been in the woods for a while, and it's time to head back into the Black Abyss again. Meanwhile, Murong Yu and his team are clearing out the dungeon by wiping out the snow rabbits like they're nothing. It seems they're looking for something but can't find it, since someone got to it first. One of the team members says they can buy the item back from whoever took it. His buddy smacks him on the head for saying such a dumb idea. He reminds him that they're after a 1,000-year special creature, and they're also on a secret task, which means they can't tell the world about it. Another team member wonders if the creature has been grabbed by another group, but Murong Jue is tired of hearing them talk, and she tells them to keep quiet. Murong Shu thinks it was taken by a lone team, which is a name for players without a group. It seems the creature they've been after is the special unicorn. Since no other group has the pieces, Murong Shui thinks there's no way they could have known the creature had woken up. This is when it hits her that there's a chance a team ran into it while inside the Black Abyss and managed to take down the unicorn. Murong Yu agrees with his sister, saying that the dungeon is acting weird and the unicorn woke up sooner than planned. He really agrees with her since their group, the Golden Lions, is the only one that knows about the unicorn waking up. Murong Yu figures the hard level of the dungeon is about to go up, but he wonders who could have taken down the unicorn. Murong Shui then says they should find all the teams that have gone into the dungeon lately and take them out to find the one that got the unicorn. In fact, she has her eyes on the cocky Lin Murong Yu, then reminds his sister that the Golden Lion group doesn't go after folks who didn't do anything. And on top of that, whoever took down the unicorn is definitely not easy. Deep down, Murong Yu is worried it might be Lin. Before more arguing, Murong Yu tells his sister and the rest of the team that they'll go back to the main spot, then decide what to do later. Murong Yu hits his sword into the ground and he says the start word to move them back to the group. On the other hand, Lin and his team have just gone into the Black Abyss. Li Shu has put her cold keep away boost on them again to help with the cold. Just as expected, Su Qing leads the way, saying they need to move faster. They get to where the first big wolf usually shows up, and Su Qing is already ready to smash the wolf. In no time, the wolves show up, and Li Shui is shocked to see 5 wolves running at them. Even Lin is blown away, as he doesn't expect the monster count at the first spot to have gone up so much. Su Qing, on the other hand, is pumped as she runs toward the wolves, ready to tear them apart. She calls on Li Shui for boosts, and the lady says she's got her back. Using her tool, she lets out a strong sound wave that messes with the wolves' hearing, giving Su Qing the chance to cut through them like nothing. She deals big hurt just from one slash, and she confidently wipes out the wolves, leaving Lin impressed. He sees that Su Qing has gotten so many upgrades that have made her even more dangerous. Suvin decides to pose as the wolves' stuff drips down her hand, while talking about how she'll confidently take down her foes no matter how many. On the other hand, Lin is still trying to figure out why there are more wolves at the start, but he knows the next spot will confirm what he thinks. When they get to the next spot, Lin can clearly see something's off. Su Qing tells Li Shui to keep boosting her up so she can take on more monsters. Suddenly, the ground under them starts to shake. Li Shui freaks out, but Su Qing tells her to calm down. Just then, they spot movement from under the snow. A scary zombie shows up from under, but it's not the only zombie. It turns out to be 2, and just behind them, big wolves and a big wolf king also show up. Lin sees that the monsters were hiding under the snow, and somehow they've got them in a trap setup. Li Shui starts to freak out as she asks her friends what they should do. Lin then says that the attacks aren't random like before. He starts to think the monsters have gotten smart, and just then, one of the zombies tries to smash the girls with its hammer, but Su Qing gets them out of the danger area. They fall to the ground, but Su Qing says they get back up quickly. Lin and the zombies look at each other like old enemies, while wolves run at him from behind. The girls scream in fear, thinking they're done for, but Lin decides to wait till the last second to get boosts. He lets out his call and brings out the changed slime. Meanwhile, those outside have seen something's wrong with the dungeon. The ground is shaking, and the entrance of the dungeon has something going on with it. Just then, fighters are pushed out of the dungeons with parts of them missing. There are also bones thrown out of the dungeon, leaving the officials confused. It turns out the bones are from fighters who are gone, and one of the surviving fighters, who has his whole lower body missing, tells the guard that the dungeon is blowing up. This is the last thing he said before passing, but the guards stay confused. They still don't get what the gone guy means by saying the dungeon is blowing up. The guards look around to see bodies all over, leaving a bad scene. As if this isn't enough, more bones show up from inside the dungeon. Suddenly, the dungeon's hard level switches from a starter one to a super tough one. The guards figure out that the dungeon has gotten so risky that the current fighters won't be able to deal with it. The guards yell as loud as they can, saying they need to tell the mayor about what's new. Back in the dungeon, Lin has one hand in his pocket while calling his slime to go after the monsters running at him. The slime showing up changes everything as it melts away all the monsters near Lin, leaving the zombies shocked. All the wolves that were trying to rip Lin apart have melted like nothing. The slime hugs Lin from behind as she looks at the monsters in a cute but dangerous way. Su Qing and Li Shui look in awe at how strong their teammate is. Lin decides to act like a hero and tells the girls to pull back while he deals with the monsters. The girls don't even fight it as they both run to hide behind a rock. However, Su Qing is worried about how strong the monsters are, and she wonders if he can really handle them alone. Li Shui cheers Lin on, calling him the captain while telling him to wreck the monsters. This gets Lin pumped to tell the monsters that he's going to beat them so bad their mom won't know them. This bugs the Wolf King as it makes a loud sound in anger while running at Lin. At the same time, its group is closing in on Lin. Lin can see they're trying to trap him, and he tells the slime to keep them back. The slime goes after the Wolf King, while the girls watch from far as Lin gets hit from all sides. Susan can see that the big wolves and the Wolf King are turning into a big issue. In a panic, Lin tells the slime to make a keep-away setup as the wolves get close. The wolf tries to bite Lin, but they end up biting the slime instead. Surprisingly, this hurts the wolves as they take big hits. Li Shui and Susan cheer when they see this. It seems the slime is eat-away, which is hurting the wolves back. Just then, the Wolf King joins and bites the slime without getting hurt. The girls are shocked to see this as they start to wonder what they can do to help. Lin then tells Li Shui that all he needs from her is steady healing. Li Shui takes the order and keeps doing her thing while Lin is swarmed by the mad wolves. Suddenly, Lin sees that the zombies are moving and he figures they're doing a planned attack. This proves what he thought about the monsters being smart. Seeing Lin getting swarmed, Li Shui does what she does best, which is running into danger without thinking. However, Su Qing stops her this time. Li Shui asks Su Qing how they're supposed to help Lin, and Su Qing says she'll think of something. Su Qing then pulls out a drink that she's been trying hard not to use. It seems it's an energy drink that boosts body stats for 1 minute, but it takes double the hurt after it ends. Su Qing doesn't think about the bad parts as she gets ready to drink it. However, Lin finally decides it's time he handles things. He starts the bad place hug, and the girls are stunned when Lin wipes out the wolves grabbing onto him. Lin is able to take out the Wolf King and its whole group with just one hit. Lin's eyes turn red as a scary red feel surrounds him. Once the Wolf King is taken out, Lin gets the experience points. While Li Jue is cheering that Lin won the fight, Suqing is left stunned at how Lin can take down a level 10 Wolf King like nothing. The zombies see things are going bad, and they go to a surprise skill move. They start the joint skill Hammer Storm by linking with each other. This skill makes a zombie spin, shocking Lin. Even Suqing is surprised that zombies in a starter lower world area are using a join skill. This is a skill that lets the monsters boost their attack and keep away power since they're linked. Lin almost gets caught in the spin, but the slime gets him out of the way. However, they can't dodge the second wave, taking hurt. Lin figures he's done if he gets hit one more time. Li Jue drops to her knees crying and wondering what they can do to stop things from getting worse. Since Suqing isn't ready to watch Lin end up out, she decides to drink the energy drink. The effect of the drink starts, and Suqing begins to change into her pure spirit form, shocking Li Jue. Suqing's final change turns out to be a full-grown giant white bear. Li Jue can't deal with what she just saw, and she passes out on the floor. Suqing is impressed by the drink's effect as she never thought it would help her break into her white bear form. Since Lin is getting hit all over, Suqing wastes no time going his way to help. Lin tries to pull back, but he's already trapped in the spin. Seeing there's no way out, Lin has given up, thinking he's done. Just as he's about to get smashed, Suqing swipes him away from the spin's tight hold. Lin turns around to see he was saved by Suqing, who has fully changed into a bear. Lin is shocked, but Suqing yells at him to get moving. Lin finally gets to use the bad place hug again. Suqing is impressed by the power the guy has. Suqing is soon knocked to the ground, and she sees the zombies are about to use the join skill again. She screams and gets Lin's attention to this. Lin isn't ready to let the zombie use the join skill again. As he lets out the bad place hug on it, he grabs the zombie, putting so much force on it that it bursts. Suqing cheers the win, and Lin says Suqing is the real star because she showed up at the right time, or he would have been gone. Just then, the double bad effect of the drink starts. The double bad hits Suqing and right away drops her health points to the last 10. She falls to the ground and Lin runs to her to check. She coughs up stuff and Lin sees Suqing has almost no health points left. He pulls out a drink and gives it to her to help her get strength back. Lin lets out a big breath of relief when he sees Suqing has gotten out of the bad state. However, he accidentally touches her soft parts while helping her. Lin knows what he's touching and this starts his nose flow. Suqing turns around to see Lin flowing from his nose and right away figures something's wrong. When she finally sees she's bare, she gives Lin a big hit while calling him a no-shame guy. Suqing puts clothes on again and looks down at Lin with a strong look. She says she'll end Lin if he ever tells anyone about what he saw. She grabs his shirt while yelling at him to show how serious it is. Lin can't believe Suqing is actually shy, and for his own good, he tells Suqing he didn't see anything. Suqing leaves Lin, but from her cold look, Lin can see the girl is super serious. Suqing then says they will check on Li Jue. Lin, on the other hand, is still promising, telling Suqing he'll take the bright picture he saw to his end. They run back to where Li Jue is to see she's still sleeping. Lin can't believe Li Jue had the nerve to sleep through everything they just went through. Lin finally wakes her, and when she opens her eyes, she starts begging not to be eaten. Lin can't believe how silly she is because she definitely wouldn't be alive if a monster wanted to eat her. Suqing tells Li Jue she has nothing to worry about since all the monsters are taken care of. Li Jue finally calms when she hears this, and she jumps to hug Lin. Li Jue is glad her friends are alive, and Lin says their luck is because Suqing showed up at the right time to help him. Li Jue then says they should talk about what they want to do. Lin points out that the dungeon seems to have gotten harder, and Suqing agrees, saying the number of monsters has gone up. Plus, they've gotten stronger than before too. Li Jue then asks what their plan is, and Lin says they leave the dungeon for now. The girls agree since there's no point in risking their lives when everyone's on the same page. Lin tries to exit the dungeon, but he suddenly gets hit with the block. This is when they see the dungeon's hard level has gone up from starter to super tough level. A cold feel runs down Li Jue's body as she sees they might be done. However, Suqing is cool as always. She tells Li Jue there's no need to be scared since the dungeon only upped its hard level, not its level. She's pretty sure they can still clear it, and Lin agrees. Li Jue is still worried, as she says they're going to have a hard time with the dungeon boss when the low-level monsters are already giving them trouble. Suqing then says they get to level 10 before freaking out. Lin and Suqing are both on level 8, while Li Jue is on level 6. Soon, Suqing asks Li Jue to come with her. Li Jue is shocked they're not staying together, and Lin explains that going separate means they don't share experience points, and they'll level up faster. Li Jue finally gets why they are splitting up, and she says they'll meet back once they've all leveled. Li Jue follows Suqing, while Lin is left to level on his own. 1 hour later, Lin has taken out many monsters and jumped to level 10, even though he's wiped out. It seems the starter lower world area doesn't let players go past level 10. However, Lin figures he can up the level of his calls without limits. The only bad part is he needs to give some health points to level up his call. He checks the slime stats and sees the boost increase is slow, and he wonders if this is because of his job. Lin checks his own stats too, and he's gotten a boost in overall stats. His health points are now over 2,000, but his attack power is still under 100. Lin figures life would be easier if he could speed up the hatching of the unicorn. He pulls out the collar book to see if there's a way. Surprisingly, there is a way to tweak it and make hatching faster. He's about to try when he hears a loud bang far away, showing the dungeon boss has woken. Li Shui and Sujing find themselves in the spot where the boss woke. It comes from under the snow, and this makes Li Shui lose balance. She falls to the ground and almost gets smashed by the boss's spiked club, but Su Qing pulls her out of danger. However, they can't get far from the boss's big weapon. Sujing starts her beast form to brace for the hit from the coming weapon. She and Li Shui are thrown far, but Lin gets there just in time to catch them with the slime. He runs to check on them, and Su Qing says she can't feel her left hand. The boss finally steps out from under the snow looking super scary. Lin can easily see the boss is very strong, and it even looks human. It's a scary monster with 30,000 health points. Su Qing then tells Lin to run because there's no way he can take the boss. However, Lin stands to face the boss, telling Su Qing there's no way out for them. Lin is counting on them still being in a starter lower world area, even if up to super tough hard level. Lin knows the core on the zombie's chest is the way to take it out, and once they shatter it, they have nothing to fear. The zombie boss points at Lin and his teammates so his zombie helpers can go after them. Lin quickly tells the slime to start the bad place dance skill. The slime takes out the low-level zombies and wolves before going for the big boss. Lin starts the full cover skill to make sure the slime is safe. The slime then splits into two to try to trap the zombie boss. The slime tries to take the zombie's ankles, but to Lin's big surprise, the slime gets smashed into the ground. Before the zombie boss can hit it again, Lin yells at the slime to come back to him. Lin is worried as he sees the slime isn't a match for the zombie boss. As if things aren't bad enough, the zombie boss calls a new undead to fight for him. Seeing his only tool has no effect on the zombie boss, Lin decides to try the speed spell he saw in the book earlier. Lin has to stay still while he says the chant. The wolves see this as the best time to eat him. They jump at him, and just as they're about to rip him, Su Qing saves him, cutting down the zombies. This takes a big hit on Su Qing, who was already weak. She coughs up stuff as she falls to the ground. Since nothing else stops it, the zombie boss raises his arms to finish Lin and Su Qing. Lin has given up because there's no way to stop the attack. Suddenly, a keep-away feeling shows up over him and Su Qing, shielding them from the zombies' attack. The keep-away seems to come from Li Shui, who tells Lin to do what he needs quickly because her keep-away feeling is weak and won't last long. Lin keeps his chant, hoping to get it done before they're wiped. Soon, the zombie boss breaks the keep-away feel, letting out a shockwave that throws Li Shui to the ground. The egg is hatching, and the slime isn't about to let the zombie mess it up. The slime wraps around the zombie's wrist to stop it from swinging its big arms. Thankfully, Lin pulls off the spell at the last second. The egg hatches, leaving a bright light that almost blinds the zombie boss. The unicorn comes from the egg, and this makes the zombie boss madder as it screams at the team. Sujing sees what's up with the zombie boss and figures it's about to go to the second stage of power. She tells Lin to run, but instead, Lin counts on the unicorn. The unicorn then gathers some light energy in its horn. Just then, the zombie boss is suddenly covered in ice, stopping its movement and leaving the core on its chest open. The unicorn aims at the core and shoots the energy from its horn. This goes right into the core and shatters it, finally taking out the zombie boss. Suging's face lights up in shock as she can't believe a zombie boss with 30,000 health points was taken out in one hit. Even Lin is shocked at what the unicorn can do. Lin pats the unicorn, thanking it for taking out the zombie boss. The slime jumps behind Lin too, and Lin knows she wants praise. Lin praises her, saying she did her best because he would have been gone if she hadn't stopped the zombies' movement. Lin then walks to the girls, asking if they're okay. Sujing talks about how she's impressed Lin saved her life again. She then says she's surprised a level 1 called Beast could take down the zombie boss. Lin agrees, saying he never thought the unicorn's hurt would be so high to take out the zombie boss. Sujing then says the zombie leader is a dark-type monster, and the unicorn is a light and frost beast. Because of this, it could deal such high damage to the zombie boss. The system then says congrats for taking out the zombie boss and clearing the starter lower world area with super tough hard level. It seems they'll get double normal rewards because it's a super tough hard level. They're also getting rewards for clearing the dungeon in record time and for one-hitting the zombie boss. The team is told their rewards will go out each. Just then, Lin finds himself in a mind space where he's told he got the gear, the Purgatory Soul Box. The attack and keep away on the gear are negative, even though it's legendary gear. Lin finally reads the gear description, and he learns that after taking out an enemy, he can seal their soul, which he can later call to fight for him. It seems he can also attach the soul of the gone to any of his called creatures. Lin still doesn't get what this fully means, and suddenly the Purgatory Soul Box grabs the soul of the zombie boss. Lin grins when he sees he can collect souls. Even after the fight ends, Lin opens his eyes back to the normal world to see a wolf running at him. The wolf pushes him to the ground, and when he sees the wolf is Su Qing, this shocks him. Suging laughs at him, asking if he was scared. Lin says he was scared because he thought they were getting hit by another monster. He then asks Suching how she turned into a wolf when she was a spirit cat. Suging grins at Lin, saying he's not the only one who got hidden gear as a reward. Suging then shows Lin her necklace called the Phoenix Feather. It's epic gear, but made special for druid folks. It gives double attack and speed for Suching. Lin can't believe his eyes when he sees this and figures Suching's reward is better than his. The gear also lets Suching use the power of the Frost Wolf. She also has two other effects that let her turn into a brown bear and a phoenix. Lin is more into the Phoenix Warrior, but Suching says she has no clue what it's about. However, she has no plans to use it without care since there are bad effects. Plus, she can't use it now since the fight is over. The two finally turn around to see a purple magic hat on Li Shui's head. Plus, there's a mini fairy-like thing following the hat. Suging and Lin are both confused when they see this, but Li Shui just excitedly tells them she now has power to keep them safe. Li Shu says the hat is the new gear dropped for her, and it seems pretty strong. The gear is called the Cyclone's Magic Hat, which is a radiant grade gear. It seems it's a set that includes a magic hat, which Li Shui already has, a robe, and a necklace. Lin is surprised because he's never heard of the Cyclone. Suching also says she hasn't heard of it, but she plans to ask the teacher once they get back to school. For the hat's always-on effect, it calls a guardian spirit that makes all her magic 3 times stronger, but the other two effects are still locked. Lin looks at the fairy-like thing and figures that it's the Cyclone. Lin is super impressed by the always-on effect of the Cyclone since it seems crazy strong. Seeing this again, Lin decides the box he got is junk. Lin then pats the unicorn, thanking it for saving them right on time. Li Ju sits down to pet the unicorn, while she won't let Suching touch the unicorn's soft body. Before they start arguing and scrapping over the unicorn, Lin says it's time to head back to the entrance so they can figure out why the dungeon's hard level suddenly jumped. Lin finally gets to leave the dungeon and they get to the entrance. The fighters at the entrance are all wowed by the pretty lady in front of them. Lin is confused about who they're talking about until he turns around to see a gorgeous, stunning lady with long blue hair. Even Lin loses it and gets a nosebleed. The beautiful lady turns out to be the unicorn's human form. Meanwhile, the teacher gets word that someone came out of the dungeon. The teacher first thinks there are more losses, but the messenger says it's the opposite. The teacher is shocked to hear this, and just then the message comes in saying congrats to Lin and his teammates for clearing the dungeon. The unicorn tries to get closer to Lin, but Lin says no. However, the unicorn doesn't take no and moves over to her master. Li Shui then gets Suching attention to what's going on. Being the strict one, she roughs Lin up again and calls him no shame. After she's done messing him up, Li Shui helps put a healing spell on him. Lin thanks Li Shui for being nice while Suching is just mean. Suddenly, they feel a bad feeling walking toward them. The person turns out to be the school principal, Feng Yun. Lin wonders why the principal is there, while Suching lets him know his plans aren't good. While Lin and Suching are still trying to figure things out, innocent Li Shui is already calling the principal. Just then, weird figures show up behind them and pull them into the nearby woods before the principal can get to them. This turns out to be Lin's teacher, and he shushes the three, telling them to be quiet before they get spotted. Subing gets ready to fight, but Lin tells her to chill, saying the guy is his teacher. Lin then asks the teacher why he suddenly grabbed them from everyone. The teacher says a lot of people ended up out in the dungeon, and everyone's pointing at Lin. Lin is shocked when he hears this, and the teacher asks if he made a deal with the unicorn inside the dungeon, and Lin says yes, but he's surprised how the teacher knows. The teacher takes a deep breath when he hears yes, and deep down thinks about old man Feng, and figures the old man really messed him up. Suddenly, the teacher grabs Lin, saying he's done. They're still thinking what to do when the principal and his group show up behind them. The principal orders his guys to grab the kids, but the teacher asks for a reason why the kids are getting taken when they're clearly school students. It seems the teacher and principal know each other as senior and junior students. The principal then says he's kicking Lin and his classmates out of school. This shocks the three, but the principal says it again in case they didn't believe the first time. Suging mad asks the principal why he's kicking them out, but he gives no real reason other than he's the principal. Lin is bummed the principal is kicking them out without even checking things. The teacher backs Lin, telling the principal he can't just grab people without reason. He then adds Lin as an S-rank talent, which they don't get every day. He asks the principal if he's really okay losing Lin, but the principal tells the teacher he can't get why he has to take Lin and his friends. Just then, a weird feeling shows up, and when they turn, it seems to be a small lady with a butler and a fighter. The lady walks to Lin, talking about how impressed she is that he's the caller who cleared the dungeon. Lin has no clue who the small lady is, and he quietly asks her by calling her little sister. But this bugs her. She yells out, saying she's Jing Yao, daughter of the DuPont royal family. It seems the little lady is a princess. Lin takes a second to think and says he has no idea who the DuPont royal family is. The principal then tells the princess he already has the suspects held and wants to take them, but Jing Yao says no need. Lucy says she has a gift for a Black Abyss move scroll because they're planning to take the kids into the Black Abyss. The teacher is shocked when he hears this. It seems he knows about the 100-year hidden lower world area, the Rift Valley Black Abyss, which is supposed to show up soon, but he never thought the royal family already had the scroll. The teacher then says the dungeon is for levels 20 to 50, and since Lin and his teammates aren't there yet, they'll definitely end up out if they go in. Jingyao ignores the teacher and turns to Lin and his friends, telling them to join her trip team into the dungeon. As expected, Lin turns down the offer, saying he's not interested. The principal then adds that Lin and his friends are students in his school, and he has to bring them back. The princess yells at the principal for cutting in, and Lucy reminds the principal he just kicked the students out. The principal tries to fight this, saying before the kick-out is done, the kids are still his students. With a scary feeling, Lucy asks the principal if he's going against a royal order. The principal feels the bad vibe from the lady, and this makes him sweat in fear, and then reminds Lin he'll have a lot of eyes on him because he just cleared a lower world area that's a super tough hard level. Lin can already see the principal and his team ready to grab him. Just then, Suqing says she'd like to join the princess. Lin is shocked to hear this, and Suqing explains to him. She lets him know staying means they'll get caught, but she's ready to change it by joining the royal trip. The princess then turns to Lin, asking what he plans. The teacher tries telling Lin not to go because he might end up out in the dungeon. Lin finally gives his answer, saying he's ready to go. Once Lin joins, Li Hui has no choice but to join too. The princess laughs as she wins the fight. Lucy then turns to the principal, telling him to back off and let the students go. The principal then tells his guys to stand down, but the teacher yells at him not to let the kids go. The principal reminds the teacher he just stopped him from taking them earlier, and now he wants him to take them from the princess. He basically tells the teacher to decide, and lets him know the kids are on their own now. The fighter with the princess then says his name is Captain Zuo Sheng. Since the team is full, the princess says it's time to head back. A gate shows up to take them from the woods, and next thing they get to the royal palace. Lin is wowed by the beauty and look of the palace. Li Shui then tells Suqing she's feeling a bit off. Subing is still trying to get what she means when Zuo Sheng and Lucy pull their weapons on them. This shocks the girls, and the princess laughs, but Lin isn't dumb as he was ready for anything. The slime grabs Lucy and Zuo Sheng, taking their weapons before they know it. Lin then turns to the princess asking what she's trying to do. The princess looks at Lin hard like a bad guy, saying she's impressed he saw through her. Lin says while on the way to the palace, Zuo Sheng seemed chill, but his hand never left his sword holder. Lin says the same for Lucy too. The princess is impressed that Lin's watching skills are sharp, but she asks why he called back his slime even though it was winning. Lin then says he knows he's in the princess's spot, and a scrap would leave no clear winners. Lin can clearly see the maids are ready to jump in and fight to keep their master safe. Plus, he knows the princess and her team are way stronger, but he just wanted to show the princess he and his friends aren't easy targets. Lucy then says the princess just wanted to see if Lin was good enough. The princess then says a meal is ready for them before they leave for the dungeon. As they walk through the royal hall, Suqing tells Lin they should team up and rough Jingyao and her team because they don't seem trustworthy. This is when Lin tells Suqing he might have moved earlier, but it was all show. He tells Suqing they'd be gone if they really wanted them out. Subing is shocked to hear this, and Lin tells her to just go with the flow. Lin then asks about the wall pictures. Sheng says it's the history of the DuPont royal family. The princess says the DuPont royal family started 1,000 years ago, and the founder's job was a collar. She goes on saying during the Black Abyss weird event, the DuPont family teamed with 3 other big royal families to seal it, but they all lost the fight. The founder's soul got broken into pieces, and because of this, the link between collars and spirit stones got cut. It seems this is where the idea that calling is a useless job came from. The princess smiles as she tells Lin he's the first S-rank caller in 1,000 years. They finally get to the dining room, and the girls grab Lin, saying he's the one the royal family wants. Li Shui is scared they might want to give Lin to their ancestors, but Lin tells them to stop worrying too much. The team is wowed by the fancy stuff that comes with everything royal. The princess says the Black Abyss Rift, a hidden lower world area, shows up every 100 years, and it has hints to the final fight. The princess is sure Lin is the key to lead them to the hints they're looking for. Lucy says the dungeon level might be high, but she promises Lin and his team they'll be there too. Plus, all the stuff in the dungeon will be for him. Zuo Sheng then teases Lin and his team, saying they're not weak since they have high-grade gear. Lin right away gets curious and asks Shan how he knows they have high-grade gear. The princess then says the hat Li Shui is wearing is one of the saint's items from the Saifeng royal family. It's also the strongest magic hat in the Cyclone's Omen set. Li Shui is shocked to hear that her hat is a saint's item. The princess then tells the group they'll talk more details on the way to the dungeon. Since they've finished eating, she says it's time to go. Just then, the dining table disappears and a magic circle shows up where the table was. Lucy steps into the middle of the circle to start the magic circle. She lets out a huge blast of energy from her body that rips off her clothes. She also starts the scroll with her purple feel as the whole room fills with bright, blinding light. And that's the end of the video. If you like this video, comment on the next part in the comment section. Also, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell, and like the video. Thank you for watching and see you next time.